So, have you ever wanted to make your own cake pops but were too scared to try? Don't be, they're simple. You just need to start with your favorite store-bought cake mix and icing. This recipe is going to make about 12 cake pops, but if you use a whole cake, you'll end up with a lot more than that. So after you bake your cake and let it cool thoroughly, you can put it into a mixing bowl and crumble it up with your hands, or you can use a food processor if that's easier. Just make sure it ends up about this consistency. I have about 1/4 cup of icing here, and I like to add a tablespoon or 2 of water just to make it nice and thin and make the cake pops moist. We have some sprinkles for decoration and chocolate melting candies to dip the pops in. I stuck with white and red just to stick with the Valentine's Day theme. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is to take your cake crumbles and your icing and go ahead and mix those together. You want to go ahead and try to get all of that icing into the cake mix so we get the right consistency. Alright, that should be good. Now we're going to mix the icing into the cake crumbles. You're going to have to get this in there really good until it starts to clump together. So you'll know you're done mixing when all of the cake mix starts to stick together on its own. And what you're going to do is scoop out about a 1-inch in diameter ball and roll it in your hands until you get a nice sphere size. Drop it on a plate, and we're going to continue to do that until we use all of the cake mix. When we're done, we're going to stick it into the refrigerator for about 10 minutes to make sure they get nice and hard before we dip them into the chocolate. So I let the cake balls chill in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes, and I went ahead and melted my chocolate. Now I'm going to take my skewer, and we're going to stick it into the melted chocolate and then stick it into the cake ball. This is just going to secure the skewer into the cake balls to make us nice cake pops. And once we're done doing this with all of the pops, we'll let them sit in the refrigerator for 10 more minutes. Okay, so now the cake pops are out of the refrigerator, and we're finally getting to the part where we get to dip them. Yay! So we have a styrofoam block here so that we can stick them in when we're done dipping them so that we don't make a mess. The first couple I'm going to put in sprinkles, and then the second couple we're going to leave, and then we're going to drizzle it with some red icing. So let's go ahead and dip the pop into the icing. You might need to use your spoon if the bowl's too deep. Now that it's dipped in the chocolate, let's go ahead and roll it into the sprinkles, get a nice coating on it. Alright, so we're going to set this one into the styrofoam to dry. We'll go ahead and do the chocolate covered ones. We'll set them into the styrofoam to dry also, and then we're going to put them in the refrigerator for 10 more minutes, and then we'll come back and drizzle them with the red. Now that the cake pops have sat in the refrigerator for 10 more minutes, I took a sandwich bag and made a little pastry bag out of it by cutting a little snip off the end. I melted my red chocolate, and now we're just going to drizzle over some of these. And you can make a fun drizzle. You can draw hearts, you can draw your sweetheart's initials, whatever you feel like doing. So now that you're done decorating your cake pops, you can put them back into the refrigerator for 10 more minutes, and then you're finished. You've made your very own cake pops, and it wasn't that hard, was it? Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and enjoy!